Oh, hi, it's Pine. PanAnning, welcome you back to Bad Dog Theater. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for All. The final trial of the case 3. Ugh. Yes.
It's time to see more stuff.
Ah, goody. December 30th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 5. It's almost Christmas. Not Christmas, it's already passed. New Year's Eve.
Good morning, Max.
Oh, yeah, good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always usually like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it.
Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Even though it's a carton, but who cares?
Regina!
How fabulous! My sweetie pie princess with her own breast milk. Thank you. Choke, 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 choke. He came to watch my performance today.
Of course I did. Who told me that I should come and watch this?
Mo said that?
So, what kind of performance will they put on today? Let me guess. You'll fly at the end?
It's not that kind of show. Isn't it right, my sweeties?
Huh?
I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on or even where she is.
Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise a curtain.
Oh, time to censor this. Hi, shield your eyes,
I'll
kids.
see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience.
Fabulous! Enjoy yourself out there.
Good luck, Max. You're the best.
No, I'm the best, damn it.
Regina's different, don't you think, Nick?
Top of the morning to ya! Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How can you go?
Mo.
Top of the morning to ya, governor.
Top of the morning.
That's the ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. You never get the worm, but then again, worms like higher brain function. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk.
Oh my, thank you.
So how are you today, right?
Well, I've got a feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real criminal.
You mean Acro?
Huh? You're thinking it?
Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got guts to spare.
If all I got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm already used to it. I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can the other witnesses.
What are you going to do then, Nick?
I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way that we'll get past Acro and into the truth.
You're right. Well, this is gonna be tough.
Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father.
You want us to make sure Regina watches?
Yes, that's why I brought her today here on court.
What's that supposed to mean?
And I said the sentence wrong, but that's fine. She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars.
December 30th, 10 a.m. District Courtroom number 2. Revel, 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 revel. Slam. The court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case.
The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory on heaven.
What's the meaning of this?
We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new high witness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off the scene of the crime.
Rub, 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 rub. Order! Order! I had a feeling something like this will come up.
Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my own.
Oh, poor gumshoe. Very well. Please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work. Or, shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. What the birds doing in the damn courtroom?
Name and occupation.
Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro.
Huh, he said dingling.
I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus.
Where were you on the night of the crime?
I was in my room that night.
If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene.
My room is on the third floor. The crime scene is below my window.
The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed?
Okay.
Okay. It was like a One Punch Man thing. What you witnessed?
It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window, while there's birds pecking at my neck. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who he would look like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming.
This witness's testimony matched up exactly with that of the clown.
Jackhammer, was that you?
If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night.
Hold it. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness.
A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix, right? Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did.
Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? Slam. There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Foolish fool. If she likes the word fool, does she like the day April Fool's Day?
I don't know.
Hold it.
Probably not.
Your room is on the third floor, right?
Yes,
And you said you were resting in bed,
that is correct.
but you were still able to hear the sound from outside.
I was indeed.
Pressing acro doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory with what he just said. No, there's nothing wrong. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. She's got her whip ready. Shit. Max Galactica only saw him from behind. The light in your room was turned off then, right?
That's true. I was going to bed after all.
So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window. This-
The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front.
Did you see any of the other symbols?
I clearly saw the silk cat as well as a cloak wrapped around his body. The burbs are back. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactic.
The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with his latest bit of testimony. Yes! Slam. There is a huge contradiction within the testimony that was just given. Oh,
If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence.
she's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction? I will say the hat.
The silk cat.
Take that! And I just fling the hat like a frisbee. You claim to have seen to sorry. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that?
What do you mean?
The silk hat.
What about the silk cat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window.
Well, you should have tried looking down and out of your window that night.
That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me.
That's a shame because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene.
That's the ringmaster's hat, right?
No, afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that that Max had two silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactic, which means acro. Slam. That you've been fibbing on the stand. Order!
Let's play fibbage!
Like always, someone has to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick?
Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What caused this witness to commit perjury on this court today? Acro was dreaming. No. He's the real culprit, duh. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself.
On this occasion?
Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we could accuse him of murder of Mr. Russell Berry. But Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor.
I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to remember all to try and grab at the audience smarter than mine. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to boil the crown with smoke and mirrors is oldest bluff in the book.
Really?
If you don't believe me, just look at the witness.
Yeah, he's just calm as a fucking cucumber.
He's calm enough for it to almost be scary.
You gotta stay rather calm and collected. I
I
get
love the fucking hummingbird going.
freaking gimmick gags. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? Also, I said Dingling.
I don't really need to say a thing, do I?
What do you mean?
Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house.
That's true.
I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things. See?
See? Even a silver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous.
Something wrong with your throat, Miss Von Karma.
He's right. Way to make a disabled, you heartless cruel man.
I could give two shits about disabled people.
Phoenix is appropriate.
See that, Mr. Phoenix, right? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it.
I'll throw peanuts at them.
I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand on her own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? I can hear the defense now. Acro and an accomplice!
What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? That Acro had an accomplice? Of course he didn't. It was all by himself.
Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice.
Not this time, Von Karma.
What?
You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbing about, Mr. Wright? Slam. There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Oh, order! Order! What are you getting at?
Why not keep them on their toes, Nick?
Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry.
Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that?
I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed.
Alright, then let's do it.
Maybe later.
Mr. Phoenix, right? I heard that comment you just did right now, and that was not right.
Put
if
that whip
witness
away,
is the
please.
killer, then his right witness account is all lies, right?
Yes, please put that whip away. Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When was the crime committed? Exactly where was When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingley? His room.
The only place he could be.
In his room, duh. He can't even fucking get out of there. Take that. He was obviously here at the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. There's only one answer to that. Slam. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster.
What? Are you nuts?
What say you, Mr. Dingley?
It's an interesting theory.
Point. That's it?
Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it.
Damn you. Stop being so calm and collective. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your searching is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way you can go to the scene or be the killer. Even in a wheelchair, people can commit murders. Just because they're in a wheelchair doesn't mean they can't do it. You've got a point.
It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix, right? The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Who said that he saw Max then?
But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly.
Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright?
No. I mean, what is it?
I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? if I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume.
How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet.
Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here,
She's right. Can't mess up here. I gotta give this some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster, and he killed the ringmaster while he was in his room. No doubt about it. Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. I said Dingling again.
Present.
I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Betty? The bust. Oh yeah, it's a picture.
Yeah, we only have a picture.
Is that it? No, that's the prick's photo. There's the bust. He killed him with this picture. Take that.
Look at this
The
photograph.
graph. What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the items that's shown in the picture. The bust. It's quite a large bust. Unfortunately, not that kind of bust I was hoping for. And because it is life-sized, it is also very, very heavy.
heavy?
Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Slam. See? This is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Oh! Order! So you're saying that the bust fell onto the Ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit.
How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible.
Objection. Well, Acro is an acrobat. Slam. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like a bust. Mr. Dingling. I said Dingling again. How do you respond to these charges?
Well,
Acro's at the loss for words.
He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Slam. Well, Acro. You can't run away from things this time. Yeah!
And what was I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Pipe?
Ugh. What?
Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you say? Fuck karma. She's just using this testimony as a rouse to stall for time. Objection! There's absolutely no need for such testimony.
The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way in once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him.
thank you.
Fucker. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. Motherfucker. It's like, why can't he see things my way? That's, sorry, I'm just checking something quickly. Okay, let's get back to it.
I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bus. Have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bus and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would have been unrealistic for me to drop the bus on him, don't you think?
I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bus and carry it over the window. Through the window, whatever. It's perfect. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injury.
That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I still like to proceed with my cross-examination.
He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really.
And you're not doing the same thing. Ugh, I can't let her get to me. I got to focus. Fucking bitch.
Well, I mean, there was something at this scene, right?
Rabble. Second, I found one. No. Just gotta love to slow down a bit. Yeah. Why do you say it would be impossible?
Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bus, I couldn't see below the window? Thus, there is no way I would know the location of the ringmaster.
Well, I suppose you've got a point.
Hey, Nick?
Huh?
What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think it's like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the ball.
That does make sense. If I only could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down.
I think I've already explained things sufficiently.
Yeah, sure. I don't believe that one bit.
A certain object that was at the scene.
Yeah. Objection. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you?
What are you driving at, Mr. Wright?
You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, may I add. Yeah. Uh-oh, I think I might have lost my partner in crime. That sucks.
Are you serious?
Nope, you're back.
You're still hinting at things as pointless, Mr. Phoenix, right? I'm saying this for us. Enough stuff! How about you show us some evidence?
But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Damn it! Don't keep me up this way. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over. Oh, that's the judge. Sorry. The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here?
Who?
When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bus came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Slam. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear.
You mean?
If the bus were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, then there would be no way that he could miss the head of the victim.
Really?
Yes, really. Order. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's only one way to go from here. Forward. Yes. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingaling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and all he had to do is lower it down.
Allow me to whip some sense into you.
Ow!
Mr.
Ow!
Phoenix
Ow!
Wright.
Ow! Ow!
The Ringmasters aren't gonna be anywhere when they lifted the box.
Ugh. That's why the box was so specially made. Ow!
This is specially made.
Indeed. It has the most particular feature. The weight of the box. Yes, the weight of the box. God damn it. Thank you for whipping me into shape. Slam. The box has a remarkable weight.
Wait,
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift this wooden box would have required. Oh, I see. One would have to squat down and then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift out the box, you have to squat down. Slam. Squat down and slam. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be approximately the same place.
fool!
You foolish fool. And this foolish fool is still calm and collective. Does she even bother to listen to me anymore?
I've heard what you had to say.
Hmm?
Must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills.
Did you drop it? Did you drop the bust on the ringmaster?
What are you talking about? Even if I had wanted to do such a thing, I couldn't.
What?
Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of this bust?
I forgot. Yes, I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. And what happened to it?
I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging out by myself.
That means...
You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus from the cafeteria to my room in the first place?
Rubber.
You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice.
Ugh!
Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bus from the cafeteria.
Yep, we definitely have a problem here. This is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room?
Well,
The
the bust was
monkey!
quite shiny.
Very shiny indeed. Take that! A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. For instance, he stole the ventriloquist's ring.
So, are you saying the witness had the monkey steal the bus?
Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room?
But the bus was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Objection. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes to read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they're made of platinum, which is very shiny. Gah! Acro, Slam, Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back up to your room.
If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate.
For a new roommate. Yeah. Order, order! I said order! Miss Von Karma! Where is the bus in question at this moment?
I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak.
This is a strange turn of events. If that monkey did not steal the bus, then what happens to this case? Well, in that event, something else must have been used as a murder weapon.
Well, or maybe this bus was the murder weapon, but it was back?
That's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. No. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact, Slam. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer.
Moron!
Mor- we call it moron, fool. Mr. Wright's argument is so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There is no denying that. Ow!
Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney.
This fraud.
You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix, right?
And what is that?
You should know!
Ow!
You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime.
Ah! A lot of H's.
There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony.
That's true. How do you expound to that, Mr. Wright?
Nick, don't let her beat you now.
I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around.
When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Perry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this, and only this, Mr. Phoenix, right? The clown saw the murderer. Who was it then?
Interesting question.
It was not a who. It was a what. That's
Oh, wait,
the
no.
victim.
That's the
I
victim.
just said the answer. It was not a who.
It's not a who, it's
A
a
what?
what, right? My bad. I
Oh,
had
it's
that.
a
I had that backwards. My bad.
It's a what?
It's the bust. Yes. Take that. Slam. He saw Max's.
I guess it was the other person who saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question.
Objection. En contraire, my frère. Omelette du fromage. It does indeed have something to do with the question.
God damn it!
Most of they saw Max's silhouette. Slam. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How was that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo saw was that night was Max's bust.
What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw just happened to be wearing clothes.
Objection. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. Or a cloak like that could easily get snagged on the bust if it came to contact.
Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a clock on their bust?
It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is the utmost importance in this case, don't you agree? Don't! He caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? This
Well,
guy.
He did not put him voluntarily.
No. He just needed a coat.
Fool! In?
You were saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the victim himself plays the cloak of the boss?
Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright?
Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all this?
I have a handle on something, but this, yes. I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint. Anyways. Alright. So, you wanna know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than the ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. And now this is when the magic happens. Wazam! At the very instant that the bust hit the victim,
Wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix, right? As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true! It can't be!
it's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet.
It
With the shock of impact, it threw up the cloak and it got snagged onto the bust. That's when the sound was heard by the witness, and he took a look out of his window. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out of his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling out the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust were being raised with a cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murder disappearing into the sky came to be. I like to use the drum sound. Now you know that how that murder actually took place. Slam. And now you know who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the scene. Acro. It can only have been you.
I've been playing mind games with us.
He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now.
So?
What now?
You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true?
Evidence?
In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my wit.
Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence?
Nick, you're sitting on evidence.
I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method, but there is still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness's account.
Unusual?
A contradiction, actually.
Okay then, use that and get out of the jam.
That's enough talking amongst yourself. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. I assume it's the poster? Yeah, that's gotta be it. The problem is Max's 3 symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceeding. Yesterday there were 2 contradictions in Mo's testimony.
The silk cat was one, the white roses were the other.
But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions.
You fool! Can you even shut up?
Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of.
Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick?
Of course, I can explain all of it.
What was that?
Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see it. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back of the side of the bust. Order! Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep it going down this road for a while and let's see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. And maybe Von Karma will finally throw in.
Yeah, sure. Like she'll ever do that. And him is still fucking calm and collected. Fuck you too.
So much for that theory.
Mr. Wright, do you mind?
What is it?
You took the time to research our circus, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think I didn't?
If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track.
Why is that?
Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster.
Acro's motive. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Slayer.
That's the end of
Ah,
this part.
son of a bitch. We're not done yet.
Nope.
God damn. Next time on Let's Badly Dub This Game, we are going to finish this case.
Yeah.
Truthfully. Damn it.